that the master's throat trouble first began. It further aggravated by his participation in Panihati's festival, and even though all arrangements were made for its treatment, it gradually kept on worsening. In the month of August, when there was bleeding from his pharynx, the devotees became worried. After consulting the master, they shifted him to Kolkata in the third week of that month. He was kept in a rented house, number 55, in the Shamapuku street, and all arrangements were made for his medical treatment. The devotees knew the medication would not yield any result unless they took special care regarding the patient's diet. Hence, the elderly devotees suggested the master that Sharuda Devi also should be brought here. But they faced a problem. The house did not have an inner apartment for women. Therefore, they thought, how could the extremely bashful mother stay there in the midst of male members who are strangers? However, though mother always remained hidden behind the veil of bashfulness, she very well knew how to conduct herself in a controlled way according to the needs of the place, time, and person. When she heard that there was none to prepare master's diet, without slightest hesitation she came forthwith to Shamapukur from Dakhineshwar. Then, with hope of curing the master of his ailment, she courageously offered herself wholeheartedly in his service. In his two-storied building, there was only one place where all could take bath. Because of this, mother used to leave her bed at 3 o'clock in the night and finish her ablutions. None ever knew where she used to finish all this and go up the terrace near the step leading to the roof of second floor. Therefore, she used to remain for a whole day in that small place, prepared the master's diet. When the diet used to be ready, the devotees in master's room would be asked to vacate the place. Then she herself used to come to master's room to feed him. After 11 o'clock in night, when all others had slept, she used to come to the room allotted to her on the first floor and sleep hardly for 3 hours. Though through days after days, she served master in this way. Many of those who regularly visited the place knew nothing of it. Can one be cribbed in such a crowded place and without even letting others know of one's existence? Go on leading this kind of an active life continuously for days. We do not know if there was any other instance of this kind. The author of a portrait of Sri Ramakrishna has written in amazement, "Till now we had only heard about the mother residing in Vindhyas, but now, out of her grace, we are able to behold her with our eyes." In the initial stages, the treatment proved to be beneficial to some extent. Later, however, when there was no further improvement in master's condition, all were worried. Consequently, according to the doctor's advice, they hired Gopal Chandra Ghosh Gardens house at Kashipur, which was on the outskirts of Kolkata. They then brought him there. The mother also came along with them. The day on 11th December 1885, the day was 11th December 1885. Earlier, many of the young devotees who later became monks used to come daily for their homes to serve master in turn. But now, in a way, they almost left their homes and started staying with him throughout. Lokhi Devi also brought there in order to help the mother in cooking and other household chores, as well as to keep her company. Even Gopal Ma and other devotees frequented the place occasionally. They even stayed there sometimes. With trees laden with flowers and fruit, and with 2 ponds embellishing the garden house, the master was pleased with the beauty and desolateness of the place. His condition now improved a little because of the fresh air of the open space as well as the good medical care he received. Having got some relief on 1st January 1886 at 3 o'clock in the evening, he slowly came downstairs with his attendant. He first saw the main hall on ground floor and then proceeded towards the garden path for a stroll. As it was a holiday, many householders, devotees had assembled there on the day. Out of compassion for them, he all at once became like wish-fulfilling tree and said, "May you all be blessed with a spiritual awakening." He awakened their dormant spirituality by touching the chest of most of them. Through this act, he took over himself their accumulated sin committed in the past. Resultantly, his disease took a serious turn. The doctors were disappointed to see that there was no improvement in the situation in spite of the careful treatment. The wound inside the throat gradually began to appear outside on the surface. Seeing no other way left to cure the master's ailment, the mother went straight to Tarukesha and vowed to fast before Lord Shiva until her wish was fulfilled. With her determination to cure master of his ailment, the mother laid herself there at the door of the deity. 2 days passed in this way. Having remained without food and even without water, her throat parched and body weakened. As she lay there, in this state deeply absorbed, she was startled by a noise. The noise resembled the noise of earthen jars breaking when many such jars piled up together are stuck. All of a sudden, her mind was raised to a higher plane of consciousness. It transcended the bound of the mundane realm. The realm where the relationship between husband and the wife, the husband illness and wife intense longing to cure the husband ailment, all seriously mattered. But now, all this began to vanish. It cannot be said that she failed to stick to her solemn vows. She, in fact, attained the state that transcended the realms of vow. In that state, did she institute God's will as manifested in the comic mind? This is what seems to happen most likely, which we can infer from her behavior. Very soon her mind came back to the ordinary plane of consciousness and she broke her vow. In dark night then, with her weakened body, she somehow felt her way to the basin behind the temple where the holy water offered to the Lord Shiva had accumulated. She partook a little of the water and applied to her eyes. On next day, she returned to Kashipur for serving master. Seeing her return, the master asked her with a gentle smile, "My dear, did you get anything?" And he smiled, and he himself answered by moving his thumbs, "Nothing at all."